Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a brand new episode of RoundUp.
We're back and we've got a lot of new reports to show you today. So let's take a look at what we have in store for you.
Today's episode, Israel continues its devastating bombardment of Gaza. We have the latest in our special report. Then, we show you how MTA International brings programs into your homes. And last, we travel to Indonesia to get the taste of a national dish.
That's quite a lot we have to get through in today's episode, isn't it, Nasser?
That's right.
But first, let's take a look at what's hit the news this week.
What do you have for us today, Ushman?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Kicking off with our news lineup this week. The UK hosted around 100 world leaders, AI experts and tech industry figures at a landmark summit on artificial intelligence. During the summit, delegates agreed to the Bletchley Declaration, a joint statement calling for a global cooperation to tackle the risks of AI. 28 countries, including the US and China and the European Union, have signed the agreement, which recognizes that AI presents enormous global opportunities but should be developed more human-centric, trustworthy and responsible. Nasser and Ghanibai. Our next story is all about a new STEM centre and you won't believe where it's opening. London Gatwick Airport has opened a brand new STEM centre with the aim to inspire students to pursue airport-related careers. The centre will benefit thousands of pupils between the age of 4 to 18 with the opportunity to learn and explore careers in STEM, i.e. science, technology, engineering and math. The hands-on interactive activities on offer include a water treatment lab as well as a mocked-up airfield rig to practice changing lights along the runway under time pressure. Breaking into the world of sports, we've got some exciting updates. Saudi Arabia is set to host the Men's 2034 World Cup after FIFA confirmed it was the only bidder for the tournament. Australia decided against bidding to stage the tournament hours before FIFA's deadline for declarations of interest. A FIFA Congress will confirm by 2024 the finalized hosts and whether or not they opt for another Winter World Cup like the 2022 edition in Qatar. That concludes our top stories for today. I look forward to seeing you all again with more news and updates. Back to you, Nasser and Ghanibai.
Jazakallah for that overview of the news, Ushman.
It's time now for our weekly discussion on beloved Hadur's Friday sermon.
Let's head over to Arsal and Usman to bring us a few key points on the latest sermon.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, and welcome to this week's Friday sermon discussion. Today, we're discussing beloved Hazur's most recent Friday sermon in which he spoke about the importance of spending in the way of Allah.
That's right, Arsal. Hazur, may Allah be his helper, delivered a powerful message about the importance of giving from the heart, especially when it's something you love. He quoted a verse from the Holy Quran emphasizing the idea that the highest virtue comes from spending out of what you hold most dear.
Absolutely, Usman. Beloved Hazur highlighted the teachings of the promised Messiah alayhi salam, who taught that true virtue, leading to success, can be attained when we give from what we treasure. This means sacrificing something valuable for the greater good.
And it's not just about giving when it's easy, but also when it's challenging. Beloved Hazur, may Allah be his helper, shared remarkable stories of people around the world who offered sacrifices even in difficult circumstances.
These stories were indeed faith-inspiring, Usman. From women sacrificing their jewelry for a charitable cause, to individuals offering what little they had for the sake of their faith, these examples show the tremendous impact of selfless giving.
And it's not just about the amount, but the intention behind it. Hazur highlighted the motorcycle mechanic who gave everything he had in his pocket for a charitable cause, and miraculously, he received an unexpected help in return.
That's right, Usman. And these acts of sacrifice had a ripple effect. Take the man in Tanzania, for example, who, despite facing a salary cut, made a financial pledge and didn't express his worries. In the end, his salary remained unaffected. It's truly remarkable how faith and sacrifice can lead to unexpected blessings. These stories illustrate the profound impact of selflessness on people's lives.
Lastly, Hazur, may Allah be his helper, announced the start of the 90th year of Tariq Jadid and celebrated the incredible success of the 89th year, where a significant sacrifice of over £17 million was made despite global financial difficulties.
And we mustn't forget that the contributions came from all around the world, with Germany leading the way, followed by the UK, Canada, the USA, and several other countries.
Our takeaway, dear brothers and sisters, from this is that selfless giving and sacrifice can have a powerful impact, not only on individuals, but also on communities and the world at large.
So, let's remember the importance of giving and sacrificing for causes that we hold dear. It's a lesson in selflessness that can inspire us all to make a difference. That's it for today's Friday Sermon discussion.
And remember, dear brothers and sisters, make sure to listen to all of Hazur's Friday sermons. They're filled with blessings and so much more for us to learn. Until next time,
Assalamu alaikum.
Beloved Hazur ended his Friday sermon once again appealing for prayers for Palestinians. The Israeli bombardment of Gaza shows no signs of stopping, even in its second month. Well, Nasser explains further in this report.
Jazakallah Ghani. In the past week, the Israeli army has surrounded Gaza City as it continues pounding the area with air and ground attacks, killing more than 9,000 Palestinians. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees says dozens have been killed in attacks on 4 of its shelters in Gaza. Aid trucks are still few and far between as food, water and medical supply shortages are worsening the humanitarian crisis. The Rafah border with Egypt was opened briefly on Thursday, allowing a small number of wounded and foreign nationals to leave Gaza. Elsewhere, Israeli settlers and forces are carrying out daily attacks on the occupied West Bank. Dozens of Palestinians have been killed, injured and arrested in Nablus, Ramallah, Hebron and refugee camps all across the West Bank. We spoke to Tamim Abu Daqa Sahib to better understand what the Palestinians are experiencing in these horrifying times.
Majority of the casualties are from women and children. We have almost now more than 3,500 children were killed in Israeli attacks and bombardments, and also another maybe 2,000 or something from the women, and the rest are from men, which means in general, actually, the casualties are just civilians. They are civilians, and they are mostly from women and children. You know, the situation is very difficult before even, because Israel has besieged Gaza for almost 16 years. And everything was there, it was under the control of the Israelis, and the people there, they were not able to have their daily life things easy. So this situation was already, from humanitarian point of view, it was very difficult. But now it's disastrous. It's really beyond description. I have there my relatives. I have a big family there, big wide family, and I know what they are going through now. But really, actually, it is a very great disaster. It is a big atrocity.
Western leaders led by the US and UK are sending billions more into aid to Israel without any conditions attached. But global calls for an immediate ceasefire and lasting peace continues to grow, with millions taking into the streets worldwide in support of Palestinians. Our beloved Hudur, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, has continuously called for peace. Under his guidance, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has launched a campaign called #Voices for Peace. Raise your voices across your social media using the hashtag Voices for Peace. Back to you, Ghani.
I'm sure all our viewers are keeping Palestine in their prayers and keeping a keen eye on the situation. Our next report comes to you from here, right at Battle and MTA International to be precise. Let's head over to Arsuf, who will walk us through the Outside Broadcasting van that helps bring programs to your homes and gadgets across the globe.
You may have seen this familiar grey van at events such as Jalsas, Ijtimars, sports events and mosque openings. But have you ever wondered what role it plays in bringing content to you guys at home? Let's find out. So we have with us Jangir Bhai, who is one of the volunteers working on the OB. So Jangir Bhai, could you tell us a bit more about the van, please?
So an outside broadcast truck is basically a control room on wheels. It's got all the kit that you'd find in a regular studio program like you use for RoundUp, but on wheels, so we can go easily and record stuff on site. So a lot of Hazur's programs which are done not in Islamabad or Battle of Thul, we require broadcast facilities there to cover the program. So it'll be things like cameras, audio, comms, all those things combined within one truck. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of cables involved. It's not very practical to carry all these cables around and plug them in every single time. So the idea is that you create all the infrastructure within the van. Everything's set, so when you go to a site, you can just plug a few cables in and be ready to go.
That's pretty cool. Could you tell us a bit more about the capabilities of this van? For example, what resolutions it can record in?
This van over here is able to do high definition, but it is wired, so it can do 4K in the future as well. Do 6 cameras, it can do a few other cameras as well, which are the PTZ cameras that you've probably seen around at Juma and Jalsa as well. The other things that it can do is IP audio. We've got capabilities of doing 4K as well in this van in the future, so it's kitted out to last us for a while.
So how does the content get broadcasted from remote locations?
So the idea is once you have your final signal, which is your video and audio combined, you are able to transmit those signals over a satellite dish. So you would have seen these trucks sometimes have a big satellite dish which comes up, and then that's able to transmit the pictures back to our Battle of Thul transmission. And then once they receive the signals from there, they can send it pretty much anywhere on any of the MTA channels.
This OB van is a symbol of MTA International's creativity and dedication. With hardworking volunteers and advanced technology, it will ensure that we are indeed broadcasting from the corners of the earth.
That's pretty interesting to see what it looks like inside the OB and obviously how it works.
It really is. There's a lot that goes to bring you all the special programs, not just from here in the UK, but also other parts of the world.
Speaking of other parts of the world, let's go to Indonesia, where we're going to learn about a special dish that they like to eat.
Panas-panas gini, enaknya minum yang seger-seger kali ya. Tapi, apa ya? Kayaknya cendol enak deh. Ya udah deh, pesen cendol dulu di online food.
Assalamualaikum. Pesanan atas nama Kiara.
Oke Pak, ya kumula.
Iya, sama-sama.
Alhamdulillah, minumannya udah datang. Kalian tahu nggak ini minuman apa? Ini namanya cendol. Cendol adalah minuman asli dari Indonesia yang terbuat dari tepung kacang hijau dan lain-lain. Kelihatan segar ya minumannya? Minuman cendol ini ditemukan oleh masyarakat Jawa sekitar abad 9 hingga awal abad 10. Wah, sudah lama juga ya. Kata cendol berasal dari kata jendol yang terdapat dalam bahasa Sunda dan Jawa, yang artinya jendolan yang dirasakan saat meminum es cendol. Nama minuman ini berbeda-beda loh di setiap daerah. Seperti di Jawa Barat disebut cendol, sedangkan di Jawa Tengah disebut es dawet. Dalam proses pembuatannya, cendol menggunakan bahan dasar dari tepung hunkwe atau tepung kacang hijau. Sedangkan untuk pewarnanya menggunakan pewarna makanan berwarna hijau atau juga bisa menggunakan pewarna alami seperti air daun pandan atau daun suji. Minuman ini memiliki rasa yang manis dan gurih dan biasanya disajikan bersama es serut, gula merah cair, dan santan. Karena rasanya yang manis dan segar, cendol menjadi satu dari 50 makanan penutup terenak di dunia loh. Sekarang cendol sudah ada banyak variasinya. Misalnya, cendol dengan potongan buah seperti cendol durian atau cendol jagung. Setiap variasi punya rasa yang unik dan tidak merubah rasa dari cendol yang aslinya loh. Nah, itu dia sekilas penjelasan tentang cendol. Teman-teman, tertarik gak mencoba cendol ini?
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for in today's episode. So don't forget to join us next week where we'll cover even more interesting topics from all around the world.
And if you'd like to give us any feedback, please feel free to contact us on our social media or email us at roundup@mta.tv.
But in the meantime, don't forget to check out our Instagram, where we'll provide you with some extra behind the scenes and content.
Once again, Jazakallah for joining us in today's episode. Don't forget to check out next week's episode, where we'll have even more exciting topics from all around the world. Until next time,
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call. Thy message to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call. Thy message to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call, oh, I shall call.